Thanks everybody for letting me try office hours today. I'm excited to go over the quote template forms and new fields that we have that you can add in and customize your quotes. Going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so the first thing that I want to go over is to talk about this new feature, forms. We are actually going to be able to access this in quotes, but you can use this for pretty much anything. I have a ton of examples here, but what I'll do is start a new quote just as an example. All right, I have all my basic pages here that you're used to seeing. I can add a page or add a page from template just to give you an idea of what this looks like once you've created a form. And a form is just going to give us flexibility. I can ask any question I want and have people fill in this form when I send this document over to them. Again, it says quote, but what I'll do is I'll add a property access form, and maybe that's all I send to them, but I'm going to use that as a option inside my quote. When I expand this option, I'm going to see, or this page, I see a bunch of questions here that I created. I'm going to show you in a moment how I put this together. You can do this on the fly. You can also do this as a template, as I did here. For property access, I created a questionnaire that's going to ask who's going to be there, what's their information, access details, things like that. This is also really popular for gathering information for insurance, and I can show some examples there. Um, we have a couple of components here. We have rows, which you'll see here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, many rows. And then when you see 3 across, these are going to be called cells. Let me show you what this looks like so that I can actually just unwind this a little bit for everybody. This is my very bare quote that I have going on right now. And then here is my access form, my property access form. This is what I created as a template. I can just type in this information. You kind of get the idea, I'm sure. Let's close that out. And let's create this property access form or just any sort of question on another quote. So if I want to do a one option roof replacement quote, keep it really simple here. And I want to add a page. I'm going to choose the page type form. Maybe I just have a couple of questions that I want to ask. I want to name the page, test questions, add this here. And I see my option to add a row. I like to use some rows for titles. So I can add title and then actually just not choose a cell type. The reason I do that is just to break up the page. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment too. I'm going to add a new row where I actually ask a question. So let's just do first name. And the cell type that I want to use is single line, unless I want this to be pre-filled. So if we already know who's filling this out, we can choose text, or I'm sorry, not text. We want to use the input single line with the pre-fill contact, sorry, contact first name. So I'm going to pre-fill this content with the contact's first name that I'm sending this to. That way they're not refilling this information that we already put in. Is required, yes or no? And instead of putting another line right under the first name, because I want to collect the last name as well, I'm going to use this plus sign on the right and say last name. Would have want to capitalize that. I'm going to do the same thing here, single line, not required, and I want it to pre-fill the last name. There you go. I need to add a new row. let's just say I don't have their phone number or email address at this point for some reason. And I'm going to do a single line, but I'm not going to pre-fill anything here. I want them to have to type this phone number in to this row. Okay, I'll do the same thing for email address. Single line, not required, no pre-fill. There's a ton of really great options for pre-fill, by the way. Okay, let's add a new row and play with a few more of these form types so that we can see an example. Here's a new title. So I'm going to just say header 2, and I'm not going to put a cell type. Love that flexibility. And let's say that I want to know, are there animals on the property? Animals on property. I'd like a drop down for this. Is this required? Yes. For the drop down, you're going to do for each drop down option, you'll just type in the word with a comma, no spaces, unless there's a space in that phrase. Yes, no, other, maybe. And let's just say if other explain, and I need a little bit more room here. So I need this multi-line input, I think, so that if they need to type in, yes, there's a dog, super nice, ignore him, he's not going to run away. I don't need to fill anything. Save that. And we can collect a signature on this as well. All right. It's a very simple form. We just went through all of the form types that we have as an option. Let me close this out and take a look at what this looks like. You can do a lot of really creative things with this type of form. So here is the first name, last name. As you can remember, first name and last name were pre-filled based on the contact that I intend to send this to. The phone number, they will have to fill out, and same with their email address. And then just take note, the headers here separate the page for us. If you need to create sections for any reason. Animals on property, here's our drop down. And then other, we just put in whatever information, and then they can sign this document as well. I'm going to close that out and go through a few other examples that we have in here for how to use the forms. Or actually, let's go through how to do the various quote fields, and then we can go through questions. This is all pretty simple stuff. Let's go through the individual quote fields. So let's say that we have a new quote for a roof replacement. I believe that this might be a good one. Let's take a look with a couple of options is what I'm looking for, because I'd like to fill in some areas with my, sorry for the bouncing around, guys. Here we go. I have a form here that I created. This is that property access and instructions form that I created as a template previously. And this is what I'm about to show you how to do. I have a PDF that I uploaded for insurance information, and then I actually added forms manually to show so that they can fill in the relevant information about the insurance. So I can collect all this stuff. So I will edit this next and show you how to add these fields for primary, secondary, and so on. Another really fun update. Here's our insurance form. Okay. Opening up my insurance form. And I guess in case anyone does not know how to upload a PDF just yet, let me show you that as well. Add a page, create the page type, and you're going to want to choose custom. So let's see, like test page. And then I'm just going to click and upload whatever PDF file. Actually, not just PDF, JPEG, JPG, PNG. You can upload it there. So once you've uploaded a file, you can choose this little icon. And is this like a page with a plus sign? And add content at the top right. These are the ones that I've already added. And I'm going to add a few more, just like our other form fields. You can create titles. I did not put titles for these because I have this PDF already with the information in there. And then you can create various cell types. So I can do a drop down if I want to. And I can also make this required or not required and do, let's just pretend this is what I want to do, a drop down for red, green, yellow on this page. It always positions itself first at the top left. You're just going to drag it down. And one thing that I have found handy to know is that if you align this on the center of a line, notice how these are, maybe they look off to you, but actually when you align them on the center of the line, what I'm trying to say is the line where you want the wording to land, align it on the center, and that is how it will turn out the best. But here's our drop down.
I
Okay.
think
So
Emily can, if you click the little gear icon on these,
mhm.
is it possible to, I
You
guess
can't
it,
make it smaller.
or the background color yet? I think those are other things that we're gonna look at down the road, but
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone said in the chat, I can cancel DocuSign now.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the idea.
That's the idea.
So here I'm going to add this form, this field here for primary phone, and then I'm going to just quickly add one more for the uh, secondary phone. All right, a lot of just single line information here because that's the type of form that I've created for this. Save and close. You can get really creative with these. I could have named these better. I have 4 new quote options here, so I'm sorry that I continue to click around. Uh, okay, here is our document with all of our options and the form to fill out. I'll say this is mine, Emily Drexler. I could just fill in all the information for this. I could have added what's your policy number, who's your representative, what's their phone number, what did you get approved for or not approved for, what are we working on? Have a lot of information you can gather, get multiple signatures, whatever you need, just like on our other documents. Um, the other way that I really like to use that content section is for a quote with multiple options, here we go. Okay. So I have good option here, and I'm going to add content to this page. And what I want to add is an image because I want to be really clear about what that means. What does good mean? So let's do this cedar dormer here. And I can make this larger. I don't really know how. Let's just keep it like this for now. And then the title of this is, wait, what color is that? Let's just say cedar because I'm not the roofing professional here, but you guys can understand what I mean. Let's just save that. And for a more robust quote template than mine, having the image of this is what the good option will actually look like, I think is very helpful. So I'm going to save and close that there. And then I can do the same thing for better. Add content. I'm going to choose image again. And let's see, this is a roof. Just going to add this here. Okay. And just to take a quick look,
It's good to it is good to
what is
note
it?
that we have a built-in image banner for options that you can use as well, but it is kind of set dimensions versus this gives you that flexibility of putting it wherever you want on the page. But
Yeah,
lots of different, depending on what you need, there's so many different ways to approach it now in our quotes.
absolutely. All right. And then the final thing is, and I just want to touch on this because if you know ProLine, you know about quote templates. So in our quote templates, you can now create these forms. So that property access form that I created, I can go ahead and put that there. That way I can send this as an individual document or even just, a request for any kind of information, name it what it is. You're sending this out not necessarily as a quote. You could be sending out any paperwork for information that you're trying to gather. You can add the pages to a quote that you're sending out, or you can just send it separately for any reason. So property access, insurance, um, a request for feedback. These are good examples of some of the reasons we built this feature. AJ, do you want to go through questions?
Yep, let's do it. Question from Eric. Is there a way to add the project address compared to the contact address? Yes, in that drop down, you just select project address instead of contact address. All the same variables that are in text normal text pages are all in there as well. So it's just all the same. Um, Kevin said that you're hitting the nail on the head, Emily. So I think
Thanks.
that's a good thing. Kevin also said need to hire someone to build these out. You can't, we do have partners, but we also have a support team that will get on a call with you, um, unlimited calls with you to help you get these set up. But you can also hire one of our certified partners if you want to do some of this for you. Jack asks, are we able to save content in a library? Um, is it better to save it to a page as a template? I'm not sure what that means. Emily, you just showed how you could add these to a template directly, right? Do you want to
hmm
show that again?
Yeah.
Um, I guess that's what Jack is asking for here. We don't have like that. We have libraries, but that library is like our library that we offer to all customers, super admins, like organizations, like agencies might have a library of quote templates. But inside of your ProLine account, you just have your quote template library, like your local quote templates here. So yeah, you can save this to your quote templates. Um, all right. Adam asks, if, for example, you want to add your contract, like Scott has said he has, is there a way to have the option that they choose and have it auto-populate on a certain line of a PDF you upload? Um, so, um, Adam, the like all the good, better, best stuff in ProLine, like all that auto-populates into the signing page and everything. So there that's not going to populate into any fields, but there's also not really a reason why you would need it to, because the signing page in ProLine is going to automatically show like which option was selected. So you would just but you can upload any PDF you want, and but I guess the short answer to that is no, but it's definitely not how Scott has it set up. Um, you just choose the good, better, best option because these fields have nothing to do with like the good, better, best system in ProLine. This is so that you can upload like a PDF form and then add fields to it. But you can still you add your different options, your good, better, best options, and then whichever one is selected, that's just gonna get it's gonna be notated on the signature page when they sign the quote. So, do you want to pull up and show the signature page, Emily?
Yeah, just in a real quote.
Yeah,
Got it. Make it smaller.
it's right up there.
Just flew right by it.
So yeah, when you can hit sign now, like when the whatever option is selected here, when they go to sign the quote, is just going to populate into that signing page. Brandon asks, can you use quote templates from other apps and integrate them into ProLine? Um, kind of. You can certainly export things like other designs and stuff from other apps. You can build stuff in Canva. As long as you can export it to an image or a PDF, you can then upload those into ProLine as custom pages. So kind of, but it's not going to be dynamic unless you then also layer on these fields. So you could export a design that you found somewhere else, put it into ProLine, and then layer custom fields on top of it to have it be a little bit more dynamic. But then we also have a lot of dynamic sort of templates and pages that are already built out in ProLine as well. So you can certainly approach it that way, but you might it may or may not save you any time. Well, let me jump over to Eric. Eric in the chat said, "Can you show me the ProLine variables project address? I can't seem to find it. Can you add a field to the
Do you want me to
uh
add a field to something?
yeah, just add a field and then go to that pre-filled content drop down."
Single line.
Yeah, so just scroll down to project. Go down, keep scrolling.
I saw location up here. Oh, I guess that's probably where they
No,
are.
it's not location. We have contact. Um, it should be in here. Yeah, maybe it's not in here yet. It's weird. Project.
Hmm.
That's the bottom of the list.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll have to look into that, Eric. Um, okay. All right. Question. Yeah, Eric, we'll take a look at that. If you just make sure that it doesn't get forgotten. Can you add it to the idea board? Um, if you could add it, just go to inside of Proline, you go to the menu, and then you go to ideas. Um, can you show that, Emily, the idea board, ideas and roadmap? So if you just go there, add it as an idea as well, just in case, because a lot of things are going on at the same time. So just want to make sure we don't forget. But that goes straight to Oliver, so he'll
That
get
was
the
here.
feedback. Also, just in general, if you guys have any feedback, ideas, thoughts on how to make this better, put it on the idea board. Literally, Oliver's messaged me right now. He's like, I'm waiting for ideas to come through so I can make this better. But he's not going to make changes until he gets ideas around it. So put puts that stuff on the idea board. Um, Kevin asked, is there a way to make a payments term page and have it reflect the payments tab? For example, good, 10,000, better, best, but we have payment terms. Um, that would be I mean, so Kevin, the answer to that is no, not right now, because these feeds don't. We don't have any variables that are reflective of that. So we would have to do a pretty big variable addition. So, but you can definitely add an idea for that on the idea board. But also, like you don't legally need to have those numbers show that way. You can just have a page that says that your payment terms are 50, 30, 20, and it explains what that means. And then the signature page is going to give the total amount. So, like and then we also have the deposit, so you can show the deposit on the signature page as the 50, and then the 30/20, you can just have that be in your terms. Um, I understand it might be like nice to have it auto-populated, so please do add that to the idea board, and it's something we can take a look at. All right. So we're gonna need to wrap up there so we can get to our next call. But thank you, Emily, and thanks everybody for joining us. And we'll see everybody next week.
Thanks, everybody.